What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we got the 2022 NFL mock draft post week 17. This is right before week 18. This is Saturday. I did this one in a different style than I've done my other ones before. I spent a long time making like a template and putting everything in. So please let me know if you want this, or if you want me to go back to the other one that was in like the NFL Draft Network website. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the video, and let's get right into it. So, at number 1 overall, the Jaguars are on the clock, and it's between Kayvon Thibodeau and Aiden Hutchinson for me at number 1 overall. I think, personally, the best player in the draft is still Kayvon Thibodeau. So that's who I have them taking. Kayvon Thibodeau, edge out of Oregon. You know, he's a great player, KT, and I'm hoping that the Lions also get that Michigan storyline with Aiden Hutchinson. Spoiled that pick a little bit with, we all know who's going 1 and 2 though. It has to be those two. Then we have the 3rd overall pick. We have the Houston Texans. They need a lot of stuff on that team. In my personal opinion, the best player available at a position of need, although every position for them is a position of need, is Derek Stingley Jr., cornerback, LSU. I think he's a great player. He was injured a lot of this year. I think he had like 3 games and then a broken ankle or something. Health is the only concern. And potentially, he might not even be the first corner off the board if people are worried about injuries. Andrew Booth is gaining some ground. Darion Kendrick has played just as well as any corner in the SEC this year. He just has off-the-field stuff. There's a lot that could happen. It is early in the morning, by the way, so my voice kind of sounds a little weird today. Anyway, at 4 overall, New York Jets are on the clock, and I have them taking Evan Neal, tackle out of Alabama. I think he is, even if EKWONU might be rated higher, EKWONU, out of NC State, I believe Evan Neal is still probably their first target they should be going after. I think he's a great player. I think he's better technically with his hands. And I think EKWONU might, I think EKWONU could definitely be the better player over time. But I think right now, Evan Neal is better. And with a tackle, I feel like you take who's better right now. People can be developed, but I think Evan Neal can be developed as well. When it's such a small difference, I think you take the one that's better with their hands and better off the snap, maybe quicker reaction time. So I have him taking Evan Neal at 4 overall. At number 5 overall, the Giants are on the clock. I have George Karlaftis, edge, Purdue. I think he's a great player. I've had him go at number 3 overall to the Texans before. I don't think he'll go that high. I think he could drop easily. I just think there's 2 more edges left that are definitely possible that could go top 10, maybe even higher, which is David Ojabo and George Karlaftis. I think Karlaftis could go at potentially anywhere else in the top 10. I think that Ojabo could easily take this spot as well. So, those are the thoughts. At 6 overall, the Panthers are on the clock. They select Matt Corral, quarterback, Ole Miss. This could easily be tackle. Taylor Moton's probably going to be leaving. He's playing on a franchise tag. I'm not the biggest fan of Greg Little. I'm not too high on him. I think potentially he could be selected, but I think Matt Corral is probably the best player at the quarterback position in this draft. With the highest upside, maybe not the best right away, but I think Corral probably has the highest upside and the most potential in this draft. I've started to like Carson Strong. I said that really weird. Carson Strong a lot more. He might be going earlier in this draft. Um, he might be. A little hint. Yeah, I like Corral. I think he's good. I think he'll help the Panthers. I think they cannot go into another season with Darnold and Cam Newton as their quarterbacks. I mean, it's just a nightmare. Yeah, excuse me. It's just a nightmare. Yeah, it can't happen. I mean, this year they started 3-0. I think they've gone like 2-12 since then. I mean, it's not good. Jets are on the clock. I have them taking, who I've rumored the Giants could take before, David Ojabo, edge, Michigan. He's just such a stud, and he's so freaky athletic off the edge. He might get better results and better stats because, they could double team Aiden Hutchinson on the other side. So David Ojabo would get, more of the single teams and, have better opportunities. But that being said, he's still a great player. He's a freak athlete. Yeah, I mean, he's ridiculously good. I think he's a little bit more of a project, especially if you're going top 10. He's probably ranked somewhere in the middle of the first round. But I think he's a good player, and I think the Jets can teach him up over there. They have some good defensive linemen that can help him with Franklin Myers usually on the left end, Carl Lawson on the right, Quinnen Williams down the middle. I think there's potential with the Jets. I mean, they have not a great defense, but they have a pretty good defense on paper, and it just never works out. Maybe Ojabo can help them out. So they're working on the trenches in their draft, wanting a tackle and an edge. At 8 overall, the Giants select EKWONU, tackle, NC State. I think EKWONU, again, it's a toss-up between Evan Neal and EKWONU for number 4 overall. I think the Giants are happy that he slipped to 8, and they're able to take him here. Yawns, dude. Holy cow. So, yep, that's it. At number 9 overall, the football team, rival of the Giants. They are on the clock. And this might be a reach, but I've been watching a lot of film, and I really like this guy. Carson Strong, quarterback, Nevada. People who say he's not mobile are correct this year, but he did have a very bad knee injury, so he's playing with that. That's why he's like a statue in the pocket. Before the knee injury, he could run a little bit, not anything crazy. I like to compare him to Mac Jones, maybe Derek Carr in the league. They're not super mobile, right? They're not entirely so mobile, but like this guy's a killer arm, unlike Mac Jones. Carson Strong can really laser a bullet in the pocket, from the pocket. I think he's a great pick, and a ton of people will disagree with it, but I think he's really good. I think Kenny Pickett is still the best day one, but I like this pick, so I'm gonna stick with it. At 10 overall, the Falcons are on the clock. This is a potential quarterback. However, Kyle Hamilton has slipped all the way down here. Safety, Notre Dame. I think he's really good, obviously. At Notre Dame, he's going to be one of the best safeties in the league as soon as he comes into the league. I think the only thing that takes his stock down is that he's a safety, and there's so many tackles and edges and quarterbacks in this draft. So there's not a lot that he can really do. It's going to be hard for safeties to really work their way up here in such a stacked draft with positions of need. But he's a great player. I think he might be, in this draft class, it's a little bit weird. I think potentially this draft class is one of the worst ones that we've had in the past few years. And I don't mean that like all these players are bad. I'm just saying that #1 overall player may have not cracked like the top 7 in some of these drafts that we've had in years past. But I do think Kyle Hamilton could be the most generational talent player in this draft class. It's just you can't really take him at 1 overall because he's a safety. And, football team would love a safety, but I think quarterback might be a bigger need. And Taylor Heinicke always makes me second guess that because he's actually been pretty good. But recently, again, he's been pretty terrible. So you just got to figure it out. You can do anything. It is fine. At 11 overall, the Broncos are on the clock. I feel like I give him a quarterback every time. It doesn't change. Kenny Pickett, quarterback out of Pittsburgh. I think he's the quarterback that is the best right now when he comes to the league. And the Broncos need a quarterback that would be good right now. I mean, any quarterback would be good right now, and that would be very helpful. I think Kenny Pickett is a very good player. I think he can run when he has to run. I think he can throw when he has to throw. He can easily stay in the pocket. He just needs to work on making reads. But he's way better at making reads than, like, Malik Willis and, like, registering the defense. Malik Willis is not very good at that, and that's why his draft stock dropped off a little bit. And I haven't even taken him in the first round in some of these drafts recently. That is possibly about to change. Not in this next pick, but maybe later. Andrew Booth, cornerback, Clemson to the Vikings. I think they need a corner. They have aging talent with Patrick Peterson. Maybe you should just take out the word talent also, just aging. No, I'm just kidding. Adrian Peterson, obviously he was amazing. Patrick Peterson, the cornerback. Andrew Booth Jr. is going to the Vikings. I think he'll help him out a lot. I think he's just a stud corner that can help a lot. And I don't think he can drop any further than 12, really. I let some offensive linemen drop in this specific draft. It just sort of happened as I went by it. We got the Browns on the clock now. They are going to select Chris Olave, receiver, Ohio State. I think that potentially Jameson Williams could be ranked as the receiver 1 in this class. However, I think Jameson Williams is actually receiver 3, and it is Chris Olave, number 1, Garrett Wilson, number 2, Jameson Williams, number 3. However, I think Jameson Williams' speed will kick him up to 2, and Garrett Wilson will fall to the 3rd receiver in my book. 14, we got Malik Willis going to the Eagles quarterback, Liberty. I think Malik Willis was almost rumored after Spencer Rattler took a massive step back. I think Malik Willis was supposed to be QB1 and really step into that number 1, potentially maybe number 3 overall pick if Aiden Hutchinson and Kayvon Thibodeaux were still there. Definitely has fallen off. I think in the Draft Network he's ranked at around 38 now. Hasn't gone in a bunch of my first round drafts. Mock drafts that I've done. Here I'm putting him in. I think if the Eagles want to keep that sort of fun, runny style that they have with Jalen Hurts, Malik Willis can come in with great speed. He has a great arm. The only thing is he can't really process the field, and that can be a little bit worrying. I'm going to compare him in a way to Justin Fields, where he has had trouble reading the field, but has a decent arm, or actually a very good arm, and can run and throw the football. I think he just needs to work on reading the field, and he will be just fine. All right, so at 15 overall, as I was talking about earlier, with Jameson Williams potentially becoming receiver 2 because of his speed, that is exactly why they will be taking him. Receiver out of Alabama, the Saints need a deep threat. You can't point to Callaway, forgot his first name, sorry about that, Callaway, and say that he is your deep threat. That problem is not solved in New Orleans, so it's got to be Jameson Williams. It's almost the only answer. One of their top needs on Draft Network is the quarterback position, and I disagree with that. If they re-sign Jameson Williams, I think they're going to be totally fine. I think they started 5-2 with him. So I think when he comes back from injury next year, I think he'll be ready to go, and I think he'll be great. At 16 overall, the Baltimore Ravens are on the clock. I have them taking DeMarvin Leal, IDL, D tackle out of Texas A&M. I think he's a great player. Just what a big dude. I mean, he's so good as like a 3-tech, 5-tech. He can sort of play on the edge. He's so mobile for somebody that's like 290 pounds, maybe even more, maybe 300 by now, if he's bulking up. Yeah, I mean, he's a great player. You're trying to replace Calais Campbell with this pick because he's getting older. Just a safety pick. You could even go with cornerback just to work on depth there because, obviously they had nightmare scenario this year with all the injuries they had and it killed them. But, yeah, 17 overall Steelers, their direct rival. We have Desmond Ridder, quarterback, Cincinnati. I think that Desmond Ridder is probably better than Sam Howell. Maybe Sam Howell can make reads in a better way, but I've actually probably kicked Sam Howell out of the first round for now until he can prove that he can do something. I have Desmond Ridder going to the Steelers. I think the Steelers, every time I say that they have to take a quarterback, potentially they don't even have to. If they can just work on, getting that offensive line up, potentially at this time, Kenyon Green is on the board. I think Kenyon Green can help. I think he's a great player. I think he can play anywhere on the offensive line, maybe even center, although he hasn't tried it yet. So yeah, I don't know. I could see totally if you want to go against this pick and maybe say Sam Howell, or if you want to say offensive lineman, I also would agree with you probably. Desmond Ridder, I feel like is just a little bit mobile. Struggles to read the field slightly and make his weird decision making, but he's a good player and he'll work well with the Steelers organization. Excuse me. At 18 overall, I have Jordan Davis going to the Raiders. IDL out of Georgia. Look, Jordan Davis is a fantastic player. The thing is, he only gives you 20 snaps a game, and I don't think you can spend a high first-round pick on that, so I think it's fine that he falls to 18 to the Raiders. I just don't think he can go too much further because he's a little bit too good. We're twisted, man. It's tough out here, but yeah, I think the Raiders are a decent spot for him if DeMarvin Leal isn't on the board at this point. So there we go. 19 overall, I have Travon Walker, edge out of Georgia. Chargers are pretty upset, next pick, but yeah. So I think this will help the Eagles stop the run. I think they can get some new young talent on the edge. I think they'll be pretty good. Congratulations to them. I think they just made the playoffs. Like that kind of happened out of nowhere. I remember when they were projected to have like 3 top 10 picks, and now they're like their first pick is at 19, and the rest are at like 23 or something, and 21. Like, what is that, dude? That was crazy. I mean, which do you prefer, Eagles fan? Do you want a chance to win a Super Bowl, or do you want, like, maybe even a better chance to win it next year? I don't know. I'd say you want to make the playoffs and watch your team succeed, but, to each his own. At 20 overall, we have the Chargers. They're pretty frustrated Travon Walker went off the board. However, they have somebody that's just as good, maybe a little bit worse, but just because of the age factor. But the senior, Jermaine Johnson, he's been just as good as anybody. Edge of the Florida State. He's so good. I've really loved the way he's been playing. He might be one of the best seniors in this class. Aiden Hutchinson is up there. I think Jermaine Johnson is very good. I think Travon Walker and Jermaine Johnson can be swapped around potentially, but I think Travon Walker just has potential to go a little bit higher than Jermaine Johnson. That being said, Jermaine Johnson is still amazing. How many times can I say Jermaine Johnson? I'm going to say JJ. Yeah, JJ is amazing. He's so good. But that might confuse him with JJ Anigbara. So I'm lost, man. Jermaine is looking good. He is chilling. I don't know what is going on right now. What am I even talking about? Anyway, Eagles at 21. Roger McCreary is who I have him selecting. Cornerback at Auburn. Been just as good as any corner in the SEC this year, Roger McCreary. Out of Auburn, he's been amazing. He's one of the better cornerbacks in man coverage in this draft. So, yep. We got the Dolphins next at 22 overall. There's a certain receiver that is still on the board. Garrett Wilson, receiver, Ohio State. Great receiver. Potentially could be up for receiver 1 or receiver 2. Happens to be the third one off the board just because of speed factors. But he has probably the best hands, one of the better route running, some of the better route running. And the Dolphins are looking very, very good right now. And I'm scared of them as a Patriots fan for next season for sure. And tomorrow when they play each other, I'm hoping the Patriots won. Maybe we can move up from the 23rd pick to like the 25th pick, and the Bills can lose. But yeah, anyway, yeah, Garrett Wilson's there. He's great. Moving on. What am I talking about, dude? It's like, jeez Louise, man. All right, anyway, 23 overall. NAKOBE Dean to the Patriots. Linebacker out of Georgia. I think that every other time I've done a draft, I've given them either a receiver or a corner. Always makes sense. However, I think our receivers have actually been like slightly better. We just need like one stud. And if Garrett Wilson, Jamison Williams, and Chris Olave are off the board, there's not really any more like stud receivers that change your team instantly. In my personal opinion, TREYLON BURKS potentially, but I think I like the pick with NAKOBE Dean. A little bit smaller at 6 foot tall, which seems funny to say, at the linebacker position for the Patriots system. Specifically, he's not small at all, and he's sort of like a heat-seeking missile. I heard Bengals say, another YouTuber who's amazing, and I bet if you're watching me, you've watched him before. Yeah. So shout out to Bengal. Yay. But yeah. So the Patriot system, they like to have linebackers that are huge, like 6'3" to 6'4", with Jawan Bentley and Dante Hightower. NAKOBE Dean would end up playing kind of the role that Jamie Collins does for the Patriots, and he would also might replace Dante Hightower, who could be leaving. All right, at 24 overall, we got the Cardinals. They are building a really, really sick young squad, and I think they're going to be very, very good over the next few years. So I haven't taken another young stud, except this time at cornerback. Ahmad Sauce Gardner, cornerback, Cincinnati, goes to Arizona. They're getting great value with him at 24 overall. I think he can go earlier, potentially. I think it's a great pick for him. So, yeah, moving on to the Bills pick at 25 overall. I have them taking Charles Cross, tackle, Mississippi State. I think that they need help protecting Josh Allen, and I think they need to improve their running game as well. The running backs are going to go pretty late in this draft class. None of them should go first round. So they can potentially pick up a running back in the second round to go along with their offensive lineman that can protect him. This is great value for Charles Cross at 25 overall, as in most drafts I've sent him off the board at around 10 overall. So I think this is good value. There's a lot of offensive linemen that are going to be good value in this draft. I've let them drop pretty far. 26 overall. The Bengals are on the board. They could even get a higher pick. I mean, they were so good. They were projected at the beginning of the year to get 4 overall. Now they're at 26. Almost the exact opposite. Kenyon Green. They got to protect Joe Burrow, interior offensive lineman. But really, he can play exterior as well. He can play tackle or guard. Out of Texas A&M, he's played everywhere there on the offensive line. Left tackle, left guard, right tackle, everywhere but center, and I think he can play there as well. He's a great player, and they need to protect Joe Burrow, and that's how they're going to do it. He got pretty banged up the other day, so hoping he's ready to go for the playoffs, even if my Patriots might play him. You don't want to play a team that's all injured. It's kind of sad. 27 overall, the Cowboys are on the board. I haven't taken Jaquan Brisker, safety out of Penn State. He's good. I think he'll help in a position of need. Buccaneers are on the board. I have him taking TREYLON Burks, receiver out of Arkansas. I think TREYLON Burks is a good player. He is a very interesting build for a receiver. He's 6'3" and built like a running back. You don't see that a lot. And this is the Chris Godwin replacement if he is going to leave the team. We don't know if they're going to re-sign him or not. So this is potentially what they could do. They could give him a bunch of designed runs and handoffs, line him up in the backfield, do a ton of stuff with him. Just makes the Tom Brady offense even scarier in a pass-heavy already offense. Chiefs, I've taken Jahan Dotson, receiver out of Penn State. Two Penn State players going within 3 picks, or within 1 pick, really, of each other, or within 2 picks of each other. Jahan Dotson, I have taking him, have him going to the Chiefs for the same reason that TREYLON Burks going to the Bucks. I think he's just a utility belt, basically. You got Travis Kelce, you got Tyreek Hill, you got Mahomes, you got Jahan Dotson now. He's the new guy. He can play in the slot, he can play outside, he's fast, he's a really good player. I think TREYLON Burks they would have preferred to have. He goes 1 pick before, just because it's another threat that you can line him up in the backfield, just like they do with Tyreek Hill sometimes. So that's something they could do. Now the Lions, I have taking Tyler Linderbaum, center out of Iowa. Now this is a weird pick. I've had him take receiver before, and you might be thinking, what are they going to do with Frank Ragnow? If you know the Lions roster, they have a center already, and he's one of the better ones in the league. Why get another one? Well, because Ragnow has played left guard before, or guard, tackle maybe, even possible. So Linderbaum can stick at center, and Ragnow can move out to the left, and all of a sudden, you've started to build a great offensive line. You have Penei Sewell, you have Jonah Jackson. No, you don't. Never mind. I think I might be tripping. Hold up. I'm going to make an edit here. Jackson. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I don't know why I second guessed that. Yeah, I was totally right. Yeah, Jonah Jackson's on that team as well. Taylor Decker. Yeah, they start building one of the sneaky best offensive lines in the league with Tyler Linderbaum coming in. So, yeah. At 31 overall, we're getting so close to the end. We have Tennessee. Now, Tennessee, I have taken Devin Lloyd, need linebacker to help stop the run. He is a big linebacker, 6'3", out of Utah. So these could potentially switch with the Patriots pick at 23. Patriots love taking the big linebackers, and I like NAKOBE Dean a little bit more than Devin Lloyd. But, you know, so that's how I have my Patriots taken. But in our system, we could easily take Devin Lloyd, and NAKOBE Dean could fall to the Titans. It's just a toss-up. And then number 32, I think I've done this literally every time, so I'm going to change it next time, I think. I have Drake London, receiver out of USC, going to the Packers. Just adding another weapon to that team. But also you might lose Devontae Adams, potentially. So for that reason, I have him taking receiver. He's just a big guy that can go up and get the football. So, yeah. So, there we go. That will be the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next time, see you later.